Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into fish, specifically that endless money pit called enchanting. If you're like me, you probably know the struggle. You want to get all those shiny new rods and boats, but enchantments are draining your wallet faster than you can reel in a catch. So the trick here is to know which enchants are actually worth keeping for each rod. And that's exactly what we're covering in this video, a definitive enchantment tier list for fish. We're going to break down the best enchantments that'll help you catch more fish, make more cash, and avoid wasting money on those low-tier enchants. By the end of this guide, you'll be able to make smarter choices and keep those coins in your pocket for the next big boat upgrade. Let's jump right into it and find out which enchantments are keepers and which ones you should toss back into the water. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking enchants in fish. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, long and wormhole. Alright, let's dive into some of the most disappointing rod enchants in fish. Trust me, these are the ones you really don't want to waste your time on, like, at all. So, first up, we have long. This enchant basically gives you an extra 50 studs of line distance, which sounds cool in theory, right? But here's the thing, it's pretty much pointless. You don't need to be casting your line halfway across the map. It doesn't help you catch anything better, faster, or bigger. It just makes your line longer for no reason. Unless you're out here trying to fish from the other side of the lake for kicks, just skip this one. Now, buckle up, because the next one really takes the cake. Let's talk about wormhole. Oh, wormhole! Where do I even begin? So the idea here is that it allows you to catch fish from random areas. Sounds quirky, right? But here's the problem, it totally wrecks any chance you had at targeted farming or completing your bestiary. Imagine you're out there grinding for that one specific fish in one specific area, and bam, you catch some random fish from the other side of the world. Yeah, thanks wormhole. This enchant pretty much throws a wrench into any serious fishing plans. It's as if the game just decided, nah, let's make things chaotic for fun. Honestly, if you're trying to play strategically, these enchants are going to throw you off. Long and wormhole might sound interesting at first glance, but trust me, they're more like little trolling mechanisms designed to waste your time. Stick to the enchants that actually boost your fishing game. There are much better options that won't leave you questioning your life choices out there on the water. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Blessed, Scrapper, Noir, and Unbreakable. Alright, let's dive into the C tier rod enchants in fish. These enchants are the kind that look good on paper, but in practice, they don't quite bring in the cash or rare catches like their higher tier cousins. Let's break down why these are sitting comfortably in C tier. Starting with Blessed. So, this enchant claims to give you a 2% better shot at catching shinier sparkling fish. Sounds pretty sweet if you're looking to add some extra bling to your catches, right? But here's the kicker, 2% isn't a game changer when you're trying to make big bucks. It's like tipping a coin to decide if you get lucky or not. There are way better enchants for money making, so Blessed just ends up feeling a little underwhelming. Now, let's talk about Scrapper. This one lets you keep 60% of your bait every time you use it, which can sound like a lifesaver when bait is running low. But here's the thing, when you're out hunting for those rare catches, bait conservation probably isn't top of mind. You're gonna want enchants that boost your chances of snagging those rare fish instead. So, Scrapper can be handy, sure, but it's not worth passing up on enchants that actually boost catch rates or fish quality. Then we've got Noir, which boosts the odds of finding albino or darkened fish by 10%. If you're thinking, ooh, spooky fish, yeah, that's cool, but unfortunately, they're just not worth that much more. The value increase is kind of meh. So while you're technically reeling in a unique aesthetic, the enchant doesn't help where it counts in your pocket. And finally, there's Unbreakable. This one's a bit deceptive because it sounds like it'd be great on rods you don't want to replace or repair. But in reality, it just doesn't hold up. If you're after a big catch, you're much better off with a higher tier rod like the King's Rod. So while Unbreakable might help a little here and there, it's just not enough to justify sticking it on your rod when you've got better options. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Ghastly, Lucky, Mutated, Insight, and Breezed. Alright folks, let's dive into some of the B tier enchantments in fish, the ones that can be pretty helpful but aren't necessarily going to blow your mind. Think of these as the underdog options, perfect for those moments when you want a little boost without going all out. So whether you're after translucent fish, extra luck, or a little XP boost, B tier enchants have you covered with some pretty quirky perks. First up, let's talk Ghastly. Ghastly is like that friend who's always there to give you a hand when you need just a bit more cash. It bumps up your chances of catching translucent fish by 20%, which means more coin in your pocket without much effort. It's basically a money boost, and hey, who doesn't love extra money? Sure, it might not be flashy, but if you're out there casting lines all day, it adds up fast. Now, if you're hoping for a luck boost but don't want to blow all your resources, we've got Lucky. It's not exactly the luckiest enchantment, but it gives you a solid 20% increase in luck, which isn't half bad if you're just starting out or want something casual. Think of it as a low-stakes way to nudge your luck in the right direction. Not the best, but hey, it still beats not having it. Moving on to Mutated, the enchant that's perfect if you're looking to reel in something, well, different. This one increases your chance of catching mutated fish by 7%, which might sound small, but if you're hunting for those unique catches, every bit counts. Sure, it's not as cash-friendly as Ghastly, but it's a fun one for collectors who want variety in their haul. Sometimes it's not just about the money, it's about catching something weird. Insight is next, and it's a cool one, especially early on. With a 50% boost to your EXP, Insight can really help you get through those beginning levels faster. It does start to lose its shine once you've leveled up quite a bit, but it's still a solid pick when you're trying to build up skills quickly. A good boost to kick off your fishing journey, and it can help you catch up faster if you're a latecomer to the game. Finally, we've got Breezed, the enchant that's here to help you when the wind picks up. Breezed boosts your luck by a hefty 65% in windy weather. Not too shabby, right? It pairs nicely with the Windset totem, so if you're the kind of fisher who loves a breezy day, this is your buddy. It's not quite as powerful as the Storming enchant, but hey, for the right setup, Breezed can make your windy days pretty lucky. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Storming, Swift, Quality, and Sea King. Alright, let's dive into some of the best A-tier enchantments for your rod in Fish. If you're looking to boost your fishing game, you're going to want to know which of these enchantments can actually make a difference. Whether you're out for bigger catches or better luck, these A-tier enchants might be just what you need. So let's break it down. Starting off with Storming. This one's an absolute gem if you're fishing in the rain. It boosts your luck by a whopping 95%, which is pretty huge. If you've got the Tempest Totem, this enchant becomes even better since you'll be making it rain all the time. Just imagine pulling in rare catches back-to-back with this on your rod. Storming might not get as much hype as some S-tier enchants, but in the right conditions, it's seriously OP. Next up, let's talk about Swift. Now, Swift doesn't quite hit as hard as Hasty, but it's still solid. Swift gives you a reliable speed boost, which is nice if you don't have the resources to go for higher tier enchantments yet. If you're a bit tight on enchant relics, stick with Swift. It's better than nothing, and will keep you going until you can upgrade to something flashier. Swift may be the budget option, but hey, it does the job. Moving along, we've got Quality. Quality is sort of like the jack of all trades for enchantments. It gives you a little boost across the board, which can really round out your rod, especially if you're using something like the King's Rod. But heads up, if you're lucky enough to have options like Hasty, Resilient, or Divine, they'll usually outperform Quality in most situations. Still, for those wanting a balanced enchant to get some mileage out of their rod, Quality's a respectable choice. Finally, let's chat about Sea King. This one is a bit niche, but it's super fun if you're into catching big fish. Sea King ups the size of your catches by 15%, which doesn't seem like much, but it's noticeable. If you're using the King's Rod, the Sea King enchant really shines, making it an awesome pick if you're aiming to reel in the biggest catches. It's not for everyone, but if you're after size, Sea King is your best friend. So there you have it. Storming, Swift, Quality, and Sea King are all pretty solid A-tier enchants. They may not be S-tier, but they can definitely add some serious flair to your fishing experience, especially if you play around with them on different rods. So go out there, gear up with the best you've got, and happy fishing. The enchants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Resilient, Controlled, Steady, Divine, and Hasty. Alright, let's dive into the best S-tier enchantments for rods in Fish. Whether you're aiming to land the biggest catch or speed through the smaller ones, these enchants are absolute game changers. First up, we have Resilient. Now, if you're trying to catch massive fish in Fish, Resilient is basically a must-have. This enchant boosts your resilience by a solid 35%, which makes a massive difference when handling those tough catches. Resilience is the king stat for rods like the Mythical Rod, Trident Rod, and Reinforced Rod. Rods that otherwise don't quite have that tanky edge. Without it, you'll be left flailing around when the big fish fight back, so Resilient is like your fishing insurance policy. Next on the list is controlled, which really shines on rods without resilience too. Controlled increases the size of your minigame bar by about 0.5, and trust me, that extra space is huge when you're in the heat of a big catch. If you've ever been inches away from losing a fish because the bar was just too small, controlled will be your best friend. It's a lifesaver when your rod doesn't have built-in resilience, but needs a little something to help you keep those catches secure. Steady is another heavy hitter that's similar to controlled, except it boosts your progress speed by 25%. If you like to keep things moving, this one's for you. It'll help you reel in your catches a bit faster without sacrificing control. Controlled and steady go hand in hand in terms of impact, but ultimately, resilience still edges them out for rods that are weaker on resilience. However, if your rod already has good resilience, Steady's speed boost is a fantastic addition. Now, let's talk about Divine. This enchantment is the best way to stack some serious luck on your rod. With a whopping 45% luck boost, Divine will make rare catches and higher quality fish pop up way more often. This enchant works wonders on rods like the King's Rod and Steady Rod, anything that's a bit low on luck but doesn't need extra resilience. So, if you're aiming for those ultra rare finds, Divine is your go-to. Hasty rounds out our list, and it's the ultimate lure speed enchant. With a 55% boost, it'll get your lure in the water faster than Swift ever could, which means less waiting and more catching. This is amazing for rods that either don't have any lure speed or can hit that max 100% mark with a boost, like the King's Rod, Trident Rod if you use Rapid Catcher Bait, and Magnet Rod. If you're looking to save time and cast your line as often as possible, Hasty will be your secret weapon. These S-tier enchants make fish feel like a whole new game, turning regular rods into powerhouse tools of the trade. Whether you're after resilience, progress speed, luck, or lure speed, there's an enchant here to cover every need. So pick your enchant, tune your rod to perfection, and get out there to hook the biggest, rarest fish in the water. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.